was close.
It was close.
What's up, guys?
Good evening, sir. Mr. Frank, is Mr. Frank supposed to be here, you think?
He's not going to be able to make it. He had
There's a basketball game.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, brother. That looks like everybody. Why don't we go on and get started? I want to call the park board meeting of Monday, December 14th, 2020 to order. Let's see, Mr. Bruce, will you do the Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
Yeah, we can all do that. Sure.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of
of
America
America,
and to the
the
republic
republic
for which it stands,
stands one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Play ball.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Mr. Bruce, do we have any citizen comments, sir?
Not that I'm aware of. No, sir.
Outstanding. Thank you. I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes of November 16th.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Head, motion. Who was second? Mr. Bowler was second. No discussion. All in favor say, oh, we're gonna have to do a voice count.
Yeah. Who was the motion in the second?
Oh man, I got Mr. Head first and Mr. Bowler second.
All right.
Good to see you, Mr. Gilly.
Yeah. You snuck in the office. Didn't even tell me you were here.
Hey, I snuck in like I always do.
All right. If you're in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Mr. Head.
Aye.
Mr. White.
Aye.
Mr. Bennett.
Aye.
Mr. Pike.
Aye.
Mr. Hessen.
Yes. Hi.
Mr. Bowler.
Aye.
Mr. Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Golden.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Under old business parks project update, Mr. Gilly.
I want to let you know that we've kind of passed the first hurdle in terms of getting funds for the moving the inline rinks. We'll be working on getting a bid out for that. Hopefully construction, if all goes as planned, construction start in March, maybe early April. That's what we're looking at there, which will allow us to make a move on the work at Mary's Magical Place for the flood protection plan there. So that's good news. Mr. Bruce and Mr. Granat are going to be working on some additional security cameras in the parks over the next few weeks. Public Works is helping us back in the back of the soccer complex, redoing parts of the greenway. And we got all kinds of winter projects. I don't want to steal Jeremy's thunder. When he gets on here later, he'll probably discuss some of that. But that's about all the project updates I have right this time.
Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Any questions? Thank you again, Mr. Gilly. Under Armour Full Court Rhythm Tournament, Mr. Gilly.
Okay. When we last met, you all approved an arrangement, an agreement for our staff to look for opportunities to host tournaments for the Under Armour Showcase. Since that time, they have greatly come through on their end of that bargain to the tune of about a $35,000 investment in the park. I think in your packet, you can kind of see some of the pictures from Field 3 where they came in and installed stadium bleachers. If you've ever been to a game over there, the bleachers on the first base side were pretty much a death trap, accident waiting to happen. But with that said, one of the things that we've done the last few years is tried to get people to invest in the park and donate money back to various groups. These people, in my opinion, kind of did this on the front end. This is not really something they've asked for, but I think it is good faith on our part. My proposal there on page 5 to waive their field rental fees for this first year or 5 events, whichever would come first. I'm not begging you to do this. It's just something I think would be good faith on our part. That's a very significant investment. To be perfectly honest, that's more than any one group has done in 1 year. I think Civitan might have got up to that level a couple years ago, but that's a pretty significant investment in our park. And I just thought that might be good faith on our end to give them a way to recoup some of that in the first year.
All right, questions of Mr. Gilly?
Andy, just for my reference, about if that's what the group decided to do, what would those fees generally equate to for them? What would it save them?
It just depends on the size of their tournaments. It could be, if you have an 80 team tournament, you're going to make a significant amount of money in one weekend. But some of these come in and they have 20 teams at a time, and it's less than $10,000 that they make at a time. And then paying us is for whatever the fields are. The fees are $75 per field per day, and
That's what I meant.
things like that. So,
Okay. Any other questions? I will entertain a motion to go on with this, but I'd like for the motion to be spoken, please, so we all know what it is.
I'll make the motion that we do this and that we waive their fees for the upcoming 2021 season up to and including 5 events before we charge them any rental fees. I think that's an incredibly good trade-off on our part to make that happen.
Have a motion on the table.
I'll second the motion.
That Mr. Pike second. I've got a motion from Mr. White and a second from Mr. Pike. Is that correct?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Discussion. All right. I will hear a voice vote.
Mr. Head,
Yes.
Mr. White,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Pike,
Yes.
Mr. Hessen,
Yes.
Mr. Bowler,
Yes.
Mr. Perry,
Yes.
Mr. Golden.
Yes.
Very good. Well, that's great. Yeah, I don't know how you guys are doing it, but I hope you are not holding anybody hostage or anything.
That's a nice upgrade, a really significant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir. Under new business, TUSC Goalkeeper Camp, Mr. Henson. I see his name, but I don't see him. Hey, there he is.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. We're just asking to put together a little goalkeeper camp. We always do indoor training for the kiddos over the winter. It's not real conducive for our goalies, our goalkeepers. So we were asking to submit the application there to have a couple days we could focus just on the keepers outside, and we just need a little green space and some unlocked bathrooms. And that's all it is. A couple of our goalkeeper coaches working with, not more than 20, 25 of our goalkeepers for a few days in the beginning of January there, and just would like to request a field to use.
Okay. Questions?
I have a question for Andy. Andy, how does this impact with us closing bathrooms and stuff? Is it available? I mean, is that something that we can do right now?
I'm going to let Dallas answer this. He's looked into it.
Yeah, that should be fine. We have our back soccer restrooms currently open. Tennessee United still has a few teams that have made regional and national tournaments that they'll be playing in the next month or so. So we still have a couple of teams practicing back there. We have goals back there, and they've also requested the Corver goals, which are the kind of training goals that you can kind of move around. One thing we would do with this camp is kind of move it off the high traffic areas and kind of get it off of the actual playing fields and kind of use some of our additional green space. We're only looking at 20 kids, and they're going to break this up into a couple of sessions. I really don't see this having a huge negative impact on our fields. So
Thank you, Ms. Small. Any other questions?
Dallas.
The one question I have, it's checked on the application, I believe, is Drakes Creek Field 10. It doesn't sound like Dallas, that's where it's going to be. It's going to be back in the back end of soccer. Is that correct?
Yeah. He probably meant to check soccer field number 10,
Soccer
which
field
is right
10,
there right next to the restrooms there.
Okay.
I did, but we can go anywhere. We can either rotate fields or just all we need is a little green space. It doesn't even have to be on an actual field. So anywhere you want to put us.
Lee, we got a reliable person here. I will entertain a motion to pass this.
I motion.
Mr. Bennett first.
Second.
Who was second?
Tom.
Mr. Golden.
Golden.
Mr. Bennett first, Mr. Golden second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead, Mr. Gilly.
Mr. Golden,
Aye.
Mr. Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Bowler,
Aye.
Mr. Hessen,
Yes.
Mr. Pike,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. White,
Yes.
Mr. Head,
Yes.
all in favor.
And it passes. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you coming, and good luck with your goalies, okay?
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a Merry Christmas if I don't see you before then. I appreciate y'all. Thanks y'all very much.
And you as well. Thanks.
All right.
Under the next business, Rosary Rally, Miss Wise.
Hi, everybody. I don't know if you remember, but about 2 years ago, this lady, Judy Flachina, came in front of the Parks Board to present her event of this Rosary Rally. And she got approved for one event that entire year in October, which she's been doing it constantly every October, having this Rosary Rally. Well, she reached out to me recently to let me know that this group of women now want to meet like once a month in the park and have this Rosary Rally, like maybe once a month. They don't have exact dates yet. So I wanted to bring this to your attention and let you know that this is something that they are wanting to do. And I put that application in there in case you don't remember her coming. But basically it's just like a group of 10 women. They recite the rosary and other prayers and songs. This year she did say that they were going to wear a mask and social distance. So I'm assuming it'll be the same way next year with mask and social distancing if we are still in this situation.
Where
So
are they going to do this? I know it's probably in my packet. I'm too lazy to look.
It's at Memorial Park by the fountain.
I'm just curious. Do they have to have does this have to go through the Parks Board? I mean, it looks to me like they can show up anytime they wanted to, really.
I guess that's up to the Parks Board. I just wanted to bring this to your attention.
I think the way it was presented the first time, it's a special, it would qualify as an event that we would want to know is going on.
Yeah, I don't have a problem at all with it, but if we need a motion, we'll make that.
Andrew, I got a question.
Sure.
Yeah.
Andrew, they're not going to require restrooms over there, are they?
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
It says there's a banner. What is the banner? Just says Rosary. Do we know what the banner says?
I do not, but I'm assuming it'll just say like Rosary Rally or they're with the, pardon if I missay this, Friends of Indian Lake Church. Oh,
Our Lady of Lake
Church.
Yeah.
It's who this is, so it might say that on the banner.
That could be. Okay.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll entertain a motion to okay this.
So moved.
Mr. Golden first,
I'll second.
Mr. Pike second. Any more discussion? And voice vote.
Mr. Head,
Yes.
Mr. White,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Pike,
Yes.
Mr. Hessen,
Yes.
Mr. Bowler,
Yes.
Mr. Perry,
Yes.
Mr. Golden,
Yes.
all in favor.
Geez, I don't want God to be mad at us, so I'm glad we did that. So that's good, I guess. All righty, Memorial Bench Program, Mr. Gilly and Mr. Goodnight.
I'm going to let Jeremy do most of the speaking here. Y'all have a kind of a letter from me in the packet about what we're trying to do. I think what he's come up with and the flyer him and Wade put together is nice. One thing we talked about was we have several areas that need benches, and we oftentimes have people call us wanting to know if they can do this or do that to order it. But we had talked about taking the flyer to funeral homes, and if people are looking for a way to honor somebody, they can maybe help us get this option out there. But Jeremy, if you want to speak kind of to the need and how this kind of came about.
How it came about was my hometown did a program somewhat like this to light a walking trail. They went out, put the infrastructure in to light a walking trail on the Ohio River. And then what they did was they did a donor, businesses or families could do a memorial tag for these light poles for a lost loved one. And took them it took about 20 years for them to finish the walking trail, but they got it done. And so just that situation got me thinking. We had an area where I knew we needed to put some new benches down by Shelter 8 at Saunders Ferry, where we just put our cornhole games in. And the company that had put the cornhole games in had reached out and sent me a picture of some benches. And it's a good opportunity to do the donor with these, because the sides, the legs and the sides of these benches are made out of concrete, and the donor name or a business name or logo can be stamped into that concrete, just like what was done on our cornhole game. So felt like it might be a good opportunity to test the waters to see if people would be interested in doing this. And then, if this is successful, the sky's the limit. We got a lot of different directions we could go with it. But basically, you've got that flyer there. It's a 5-foot bench with the concrete side legs. It's got a really nice pine 4x4 timber bench part that you sit on. They're going to run $800 per bench. So we would need 4 donors at $800. And I've kind of talked to a few people and just threw it out there, just telling them that I was working on it, and had a few people that seem to be interested. So I think once we get it in place, get everything approved and move with it, I feel like this won't be a hard thing to make happen. So if anybody has any questions, I'll leave my mic on here for a minute.
Okay. Questions?
Is this a one-time $800 gets the bench put in and the stamp on it and everything, and then it's good to go?
Yeah. And, who knows what the life of these will be. I would say it's probably anywhere from 20 to 30 years. One thing I did think about is that there probably should be some sort of a clause in there that if for some reason one of them was to get vandalized, damaged in some way, that we would go back and replace it for a certain amount of time, whether it's 10 years or something along those lines. I was thinking about it the other night, and just in that event that something happened, somebody drove their truck down there and drove over top of one or something, anything is possible. I do think we maybe want to put something in there saying that we would replace it for so many years. And then after that, we wouldn't. It would go, maybe we would first go back to that family or that company and say, hey, 12 years in and it's looking really bad and it's time to replace it. We wanted to give you first option to do another one. And then if they choose not to, then we would go back out and find someone. But I don't think that'll happen. I feel like their life expectancy is probably 20, 30 years. So anyway, I hope that answers your question.
All right. Before we go any further with that, I think there probably needs to be just some discussion on the amount of time there.
I think you could make that part of your motion to approve, whoever, if somebody wants to make that.
Exactly. But I mean, what would be the length of replacing it, or the years?
Personally, I would like to say 15 or 10. I'm not sold on either one myself, but
yeah, that's why I want discussion. I'm thinking 15 as well, but I don't want to be the one to push it along. So anybody else have an idea on it?
I think 10 or 15 would be very fair.
All righty. If there's no more questions about it, I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
Mr. Chairman, I've got a question.
Go right ahead.
Have we considered criteria for? Would the Parks Department get to okay the person being recognized on the bench?
Yes.
Andy, you can go. Yeah.
Yes, we would okay that, and if it was some kind of business, it would have to fall under our sponsorship program and all the guidelines that we had under that a couple of years ago when we approved it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make motion.
I move to.
Go ahead.
Step
Go
on
ahead,
somebody.
PA. Go ahead, PA.
I'd like to make a motion to approve
Voice that and add that.
the time frame. So what? I'd like to stipulate that for a period of 10 years, the Parks Department would replace any damage to the bench.
Got it.
Very good. I've got a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Perry, second. Any more discussion? All right, voice vote.
I'm gonna reread the motion, just make sure I got it right. We're approving the bench program with the stipulation that the parks will replace any damaged ones up to 10 years. We're good? Mr. Head?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Pike?
Yes.
Mr. Heston?
Yes.
Mr. Bowler?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Golden?
Yes.
And it passes. Mr. Granat, I want to officially be the first one to say I will do that.
I was hoping you would tell me that you were someone I was going to come talk to. So that's awesome. And I appreciate that. Once we get everything kind of in order, you and I'll get together and we'll put the design together how you want to do your remembrance and everything. And they'll do a proof, some sort of a proof on it. So we'll get a proof and look at it. And I think it'll be really awesome. That's great.
I hope you can put UT on it somewhere. She loved them. All right, that's fine. Thank you, Mr. Granat. Okay, Mark Hughley plaque, Mr. Gilly.
Yes, sir. I had a gentleman call me from Colorado last week, and Alderman Brown had put him in touch with us regarding Mr. Hughley, who passed away last year due to cancer. Some of you all may remember Mark. Mark was probably that I know of, he's probably the only commercial fisherman that fished Old Hickory Lake in Hendersonville. He caught thousands of catfish over the years out of there, and used it for good a lot. You know, he operated a bait shop, but he was also provided meals for many causes over the years. We have several trees already, as you all know, that have little memorial plaques. And I wanted to get you all's approval to add one of those on behalf of Mr. Hughley. And I wanted to do it, you know, I wanted to make sure it was okay with you all, but I also wanted to publicly state all this so that the public could hear some of the things he'd done in the parks and in the lake area.
Mark was my dad's next door neighbor, and I talked to him several times. He kept my dad all fixed up with catfish, which was one good thing. And boy, he could sure enough tell some stories. I'll tell you, I think he about halfway think he made some of them up, but I mean, they were good stories, so I enjoyed them. And so I think this would be a great thing. I think it'd be a great thing. Any discussion before we hear a motion? I'll hear a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion. We approve it.
Mr. Pike first.
Second.
Mr. Bennett second. Any more discussion? Voice vote.
Mr. Head?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Pike?
Yes.
Mr. Hessen?
Yes.
Mr. Bowler?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Golden?
Yes.
And it passes. He was a nice guy and he had a beard. That's what I liked about him. All right. Ms. Wise, you want to add anything to that special events list? Or are you happy with it?
I think it's updated as of today, so there should be everything on it that's set for next year.
That is the ugliest kid I've ever seen. What was that? Oh, yeah, it was a dog.
That was a dog.
I thought that was an ugly kid. All right, we're good. I don't, I don't see Miss Hamlin here. Mr. Evans, do you have a report?
Actually, I'm going to speak for Miss Hamlin first, and then I'll do mine. So this is from Miss Hamlin. Raptors basketball. We will not be doing the Raptors Special Needs Basketball League, but we will be having Saturday winter games, which I'll get to. Those who register will come on Saturdays and participate in a variety of games, activities, crafts, as well as have some time with their friends. COVID regulations will be put in place, such as social distancing, limited numbers in groups, wearing a mask, and temperatures will be taken. This will take place on Saturdays in January and February from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at Whitten Elementary. Visit with Santa for Special Friends was last Thursday, December 10th, here at City Hall. We had about 8 special friends come visit with Santa. Everyone that attended seemed to have a great time. Parents were pleased as well. Letters were written to Santa and dropped off. Each participant got a small plush toy. We did have D-Image come out to provide some pictures. This was a co-sponsored event by the Hendersonville Civitan Club. And then breakfast with Santa was held this past Saturday at Whitten Elementary. There were 3 different sessions. Visitors had an opportunity to write a letter to Santa, visit with the Grinch, an elf, and man, the jolly old man himself, Santa. Participants got chicken or sausage biscuits from Wendy's, along with the juice box. COVID regulations were put into place, and there was no problem with social distancing or wearing a mask. There were a few that had to cancel last minute due to their own concerns, but overall it was a great having help from the gym supervisors and some from the summer programs. We'd like to thank Mr. Mann for allowing us to host this event at Whitten Elementary, as well as D-Image for providing pictures for free, and for the sponsorship from the Hendersonville Civitan League to make this a totally free event for all who attended. Miss Hamlin wishes everybody has a very Merry Christmas, and that she'll see you again next year. As far as from me, we are currently, registration just went live for indoor volleyball. So if any of our people out there want to play indoor volleyball, that is currently live on our website, and you can also pay in here in the office as well. As far as basketball goes, we're almost to the halfway point for our men's league and our 2 high school leagues. It's been running really smooth. Everybody's been following the rules. For the most part, it's been a good success. So fingers crossed, we'll finish out on Thursday, and then we'll break until after the new year. Besides that, that's it. We'll have more leagues coming out in the spring.
Good question. I will tell you that I know for certain that was not the real Santa Claus that they had at that thing. I have proof if you want it. So that's good. Any more questions? Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Special Events Program Supervisor, Ms. Wise, with the thing on her head.
All right, so we finished November with a tennis tournament. There were about 25 teams participating from all over Tennessee. We had the smoke school training certification class come back again this year before Thanksgiving. And then we just finished up on Saturday with our holiday events. And then we still have the Festival of Lights going on until Sunday night from 5 to 9 in Memorial Park. And then coming up, we have local school tournaments and play days kicking off the new year for 2021, and it starts all over again.
Very well done, Ms. Wise. Questions?
I just wanted to make a statement. I will tell Ms. Wise and Andy, I love the location of the festival, the Light Festival, behind the tennis courts. I think it looks really good over there. Really good.
Thank you.
He's bragging on you. Like that. Any other questions? Assistant Maintenance Supervisor, I believe it'll probably be Mr. Gannat.
Yes, I'm here, sir. Restroom painting is in full swing off of our winter list. We've got a lot of parking lot painting going on right now. We're in the process of doing a light upgrade back at one of the soccer meeting rooms. If it goes well, we'll probably try to do both of them this winter. Just upgrading some LED lighting. They were underlit and kind of dark. They don't have any windows. So when they were having meetings in there in the wintertime, the door wasn't open. It was just kind of a dark area. So we were trying to change that a little bit. We did our yearly AED recertifications in the last couple of weeks. Fire extinguisher yearly recertifications are done. Those are all just things that we do over the winter months that to be in preparation for next year. Just easier to do them when we can pull everything out of those buildings and not have to worry about an event going on. So those have been done. We had some employees in the Christmas parade, some equipment. I'm sure some of y'all saw them. The guys always enjoyed doing that. So that's a fun event, and they had a good time with it. We took ownership of a couple of new zero turn mowers last week. Got rid of some old ones, got a couple new ones. So it's always nice to get some new equipment. I think that's pretty much everything for right now. You know, we'll have a lot of guys taking time off, already kind of starting to see that over Christmas and New Year's. So we'll see the next couple of weeks. We'll be a little smaller staffed, and come January, we'll be back in full swing and finish up all these painting projects and some other things. We're looking at maybe upgrading some countertops down to football restrooms. We're getting some pricing on that to see if we can swing it. We've got a HVAC project over at Veterans ball field concession restroom buildings. I don't know, some of y'all probably know this, those restrooms over there never had HVAC in them. The concession stand in the meeting room did, but the restrooms didn't for some reason. So we're looking at, when we do our upgrade over there, part of that bid is going to be running the ductwork and putting some HVAC in those restrooms. I think people over there in July and August will definitely see the benefit in that. So if anybody has any questions, I'll leave my mic on for a minute.
I got one question, and you guys, I mean, it looks good out there with the winter projects. You guys are doing a great job. Things looking good. I know your list is extensive, and I do have one thing I'd like to talk to you about. If you got like 3 minutes after the meeting's over, and give me a call.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you.
Run something by you. Just a question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. White, you look more like Santa Claus than I do.
I only hope to be like you when I grow up.
Holy smoke. You're setting you to aim awful low, I'll tell you that. Okay. Assistant Director, Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I mentioned earlier, Tennessee United has a few teams still out practicing through this month. So good luck to those teams that have qualified for these regionals and national tournaments. And hopefully we'll bring home some championships this year. We also finished up rugby season this a couple of weeks ago. They had their camp, which was a big turnout. They had kids from all over the Southeast travel into Hendersonville to attend the camp. So that was a big deal for the first year for rugby. The staff and the leagues are all working on making their plans for 21 with all the programs and events and leagues that we have going on. So we're gearing up and planning for next year. The trail posts that you guys all approved about two months ago, those have been ordered, and we hope to have those installed and ready to go by the time people get back out walking and running on the trails this spring. And then lastly, the Honor of the Game Sportsmanship Committee, for those that are on it, I'll be sending an email the next day or two for you all to vote on who we want to award the Jameson Morton Awards this year. With everything going on, we obviously, with COVID, we didn't have as many nominations this year, but we still had a good turnout with missing about half a year. So we're excited for all those that were nominated, and we're looking forward to either January or February's Parks Board awarding two individuals with that award. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Any questions? All right. Assistant Director, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chairman. First thing, the hockey group went down to Snellville, Georgia this past weekend. I'm sorry, the weekend before. And actually had a good time with the tournaments, played well in 3 or 4 divisions. So that part is they finished up with hockey that weekend down there. Working with Andrea on the tournament list, trying to figure out everything. We're going to be just as busy next year, every weekend, just about we have something going on tournament-wise, baseball, softball, soccer, so forth. The big thing we've been working on the last couple of weeks is basketball rescheduling. Still working with Civitan. They canceled all activities for 1st and 9th graders in December. Getting with them, looking at starting back up in January with them. Going to try to hopefully meet with them at the end of this week and check on their plans for January and February. With that being said, we have to go ahead and plan on that, depending on what they decide, with gym supervisors, referees, contacting schools, make sure gym space is available. So I've went back in and rescheduled everything for January and February, and we're still getting school approval for those schedules. So hopefully we'll make some decisions in the next week to 10 days with Civitan to see if we will have basketball in January and February. Hopefully we do, but we'll see how that works the next week or so. Last thing is, Bubba, you probably need to bring your hat down so everybody can see the hat. The hat is very nice. Nice event coming up for Bubba, so everybody can see the new next Bubba event. Thank you, sir.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Parks Director, Mr. Gilly.
We got a hat for all the Parks Board members. You want to come by and get one?
I'll get mine before I leave.
Okay. I want to remind everybody this coming Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and at 11:15 a.m. in 2 separate parks. We have 2 separate ceremonies dedicating the Tennessee Music Pathway marker at Kids Kingdom for Taylor Swift at 10:30. Taylor will not be in attendance, just FYI, before anybody goes nuts. But and then at 11:15 we'll be moving over to Veterans Park by Mary's Magical Place and dedicating one for the Isaacs Southern Gospel Group. And the Isaacs are actually going to perform Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
That'll be really cool. The markers look great. It's probably the first of many that we'll have in the parks over the years. As you all are aware, we've got a little bit of history with that kind of thing. But that's Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, 10:30 and 11:15. Representatives from the governor's office will be there. It's kind of a big deal. So want to make sure we thank our board of mayor and aldermen for voting this past week. Not only did they vote to move the hockey rinks and fund that project, but kind of went unnoticed because there was no discussion on it, but they also voted to fund a parks master plan, which is a huge deal for our city to be able to spend the next 6 to 8 months getting input from the community, kind of figuring out some directions of where things need to go facility-wise, what leagues we need to offer, programs. It's going to be a lot of community outreach going on over the next 6 to 8 months for us to get feedback to help set goals and long-range plans. So that was a huge deal. And also we were able to get funded tennis court resurfacing for 4 courts that will happen next summer, and the hiring of 2 full-time maintenance employees starting in February. And that's kind of critical because we have at this time lost the inmate program that we utilize so much. These 2 new full-time employees, they're stated on the job application that they will work Wednesday through Sunday will be their shift. So it'll give us 2 full-time guys already on a weekend, which is going to be very helpful. Want to update everybody. I want to compliment big time our staff here in the office at City Hall. Some of you know we kind of had to split into teams and do kind of skeleton crew, and there's been nothing normal go on, even though to the public it looks normal. These folks in the office have been flexible. They've battled through some illnesses, but they have never once, to my knowledge, nobody's called up here to City Hall and said the Parks Department's not doing their job. And then at maintenance, those guys have done a tremendous job of doing things in a safe way and doing the best they could to keep everybody healthy and keep things going. I can't compliment them enough and how they've done over this time. Several events that we had with Holiday Fest that we kind of helped, some of the Christmas stuff we're the sole provider of funds for. Some of it Holiday Fest pays for, but we all work together on it. And I think the community's been grateful for all that we've been able to accomplish with the parade and the tree lighting. And apparently now we're going to have fireworks every year at the tree lighting, according to the feedback. But just really am grateful for our staff and all the partners that we have with the civic groups that have helped us get through this year. It's I hope we never have anything like this again. That's for certain. And that's it. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Any questions? All right, let's do a round table. Mr. Perry.
Andy, Mr. Gilly, you guys, once again, the tree lighting ceremony was just fantastic. The rain held off for everybody, and I know you guys were panicking, but it was just awesome. Thanks for getting the hats in there, Andy. It's going to be awesome next year. And guys, appreciate every one of y'all, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Mr. Pike.
Just wanted to kind of echo what Andy was saying. It's been a hard year for everybody, but I can't say enough how proud I am to be part of the Parks Board, but to be part of a great Parks Department that has really helped, I think, in a lot of ways, keep our city sane somewhat with the events and not necessarily having to stay in all the time like we have done. It's been a hard year for everybody, but I do appreciate everything that the Parks Department staff, maintenance staff has done. Park looks beautiful. Amazing what kind of events we've had based on what we went through. And I just want to say happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Pike. Mr. Golden.
I just want to thank everybody. It's been a great sort of first several, 6 months, 8 months. I'm really excited about being on this board, and very happy to serve. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. Mr. White.
Merry Christmas to everybody, and it's an honor to serve with each and every one of you. Stay safe during the holidays.
Thank you, Santa. Mr. Bowler.
Yeah, I'd like to publicly acknowledge, appreciate the Civitan group. I think they show up in every single meeting that we have. Our Parks Department, we appreciate that partnership with the Parks Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowler. Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you back, by the way, leading the charge. In the year that we've had, everything that has been abnormal, the Parks Department was normalcy for the city. And I can't thank the park staff, the group. You made a lot of parents go not crazy with their kids, and a lot of coaches, and especially the kids, happy by still holding the tournament, still holding a lot of events that happened this year. So kudos to every park staff member for keeping everything going and making the city great this year in unsettling times. So thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Mr. Head.
Just to iterate what everybody said, it's been a tremendous year as far as being able to get things accomplished with all the things we've had to overcome. I never would have dreamed about July that we would be having a park full like we had when we were looking at canceling and everything was up in the air in March. And then we got to July and August, and it was like living at the park like a normal summer. So the Parks Department did a great job. The maintenance staff did a great job. The Parks Board is great as usual. And, we got through the year, made things happen, and made a lot of people who probably didn't get a chance to get able to get out and enjoy normal life a little bit while they were at the park. So congratulations to everybody. Stay safe. Have a great Christmas, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Some years back, either the first, I was chairman some years back, and I recall second or third, I was scared to death. Still am, really, to be honest with you. But I had a buddy, and I was talking to him, and I said, I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing. He said, "You're chairman. You take charge of what's going on." And I said, "Well, I don't know what to do and what not." And he said, "Well, if they don't yell at you, you do whatever you want to." So I'm going to take just a minute, if y'all don't mind, and go across and just say a couple things. Mr. Perry, I can't thank you enough for your friendship. I can't thank you enough for your son. You have been a friend when I needed it, and I appreciate it.
Love you, buddy.
Mr. Pike, you are Pike, and there's nothing that I could add to that is any better. I love you like a brother, man, and I thank you for being there for me.
Always, buddy, always.
Tom, and I just meant to tell you, I always call you last name. I'm going to try to call you first name. Tom, I haven't known you long, but I've talked to people that have, and we're glad to have you here, and we hope to have you for a long time.
Thank you.
Mr. White, you've always been positive. I can tell people, sometimes you can look at people's heart, and you can feel it, and you got that heart, and I appreciate that. PA, I told you when you joined the Parks Board, I said, when I screw up, I want you to kick me in the shins, and I got tired of that, so I moved a little bit, but you've always been helpful, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. Keith, we've talked several times. Couldn't have a better friend. You have been behind me the whole time we've done this, and I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate you bringing up kickball every time we talk, and that's a good thing. Dallas, I have got to know you a little better over the time, and you've been respectful, and I appreciate that, and you've never failed to answer a question, and you're such an addition to our staff. Mr. Bennett, you don't know how much I appreciate you, brother. Between you and Andy, you showed up at a time when I needed it, and again, I'll just like Mr. White, I'll tell you, you've got that heart thing working. I appreciate it. Ms. Ted or Jimmy, you know more about everything that's going on in probably 1 foot than I know in everything. And I just, I'm going to make your head get a little bit big, but I'm just going to tell you that everything you say, I listen to, because you've always been a voice of reason, and you're just smart. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate what you've done for me. And Mr. Gilly, thank you so much for this opportunity to do this. And it's an honor to do this. And I consider each and every one of you friends and family. I really do. If you can, say a little prayer for me this Christmas. And I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. And if you ever need anything from me, you let me know, and I'll be there. So that being said, I'm sorry it took so long, but we'll have a voice vote to adjourn.
Need a motion.
Oh,
A motion.
Mr. Bennett's motion, Mr. White second. Voice vote.
Mr. Golden,
Yes.
Mr. Perry,
Yes.
Mr. Bowler,
Yes.
Mr. Hessen,
Yes.
Mr. Pike,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes, sir.
Mr. White,
Yes.
Mr. Head.
Yes.
We're adjourned. Merry Christmas.
And a Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
See y'all
Ho, ho,
later.
ho.